everybody, and welcome to this special on Mercury transiting in Scorpio from the 29th of October at 5:08 p.m. Then Mercury enters out of bounds on the 6th of November at 7:09 p.m. and then Mercury then goes retrograde on the 26th of November while still in Scorpio. So I'm going to do a separate audio for Mercury out of bounds and Mercury retrograde. In this one I'm just talking about Mercury being in Scorpio. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. And remember, all my interpretations are based on Vedic constellational astrology, which differs from Western astrology and is based on where the planets and the luminaries, which are the sun and the moon, are at any given time up in the sky. I'm Amani, I'm your holistic karmic astrologer, and first I'm going to talk about the astrological meanings, the practical, financial, political, worldly, materialistic and social collective meanings of Mercury transiting in Scorpio. So in terms of the holistic astrological meanings, it can help us dig beneath the surface, uncover hidden truths as we explore our thoughts and the way we communicate with ourselves and others. And it sort of like pushes us to confront any fears or insecurities around our thoughts and insecurities that may be getting in the way of our, personal growth. And we can just find ourselves drawn to more intense conversations, research and transformative ideas. And this can allow for greater understanding of your motivations. And this can sort of like push positive changes in your life as you allow yourself to go deep, and you can make changes in your self-perception, your daily routine, the way you manage your finances, the way you think about your kinks and repressed desires, and you could feel that you want to sort of like push them out into the open in safe ways. We on a collective level can be more interested in taboo subjects, repression, underlying patterns in communication, thinking about the subtle languages, body languages, the tones and the movements of our eyes and mouth when we're talking, stuff like that. And we can just express ourselves with greater intensity and authenticity at the moment. And it's really a good energy to investigate, especially in discussions and debates, where you have long drawn out debates, looking at everything from every angle. And we can just have a collective reassessment in values and beliefs, and it can, inspire change in us personally or in our community, but a bit more about that later. In terms of practical implications, it's going to not only increase our communication or our thoughts about communication and the ways we sell and market ourselves and our decision making skills as well, and because we can have increase in thoughts and thinking a bit deeper, it encourages us to use the thoughts and ideas that we have assertively and in a clear way, and just to be more sort of like open in our communication, especially when it comes to articulating, speaking about our needs and wants and desires. And this can lead to more meaningful interactions with others, and we can sort of like build more trust because we're more authentic and resolve lingering disagreements, misunderstandings in connections, and in terms this can strengthen our bonds. In terms of our decision-making skills, it encourages us to tap into our intuition and emotional intelligence, and we can just feel more attuned to the motivations of ourselves and others, and this allows us to make more informed choices, and if we're willing to address underlying fears, misconceptions, biases, we can approach decisions with a clearer perspectives and make a way for transformative outcomes in our relationships, in our conversations. And although we may have some fear, it really does provide the energy for us to tackle challenging conversations and make the changes we need to in our life. And it just wants us to engage more in self-reflection and honest expression of ourselves. In terms of the financial insights we can have, because Scorpio's energy brings awareness and good judgment, discernment to our financial lives. It's a good energy to evaluate our investments or think about starting investments or savings, and looking beyond the surface level data to uncover deeper insights that may have previously eluded you in terms of when it comes to saving money and accumulating wealth. Some people, save 10%, 5% of their earnings every month, put that in a separate bank account. What we see, we don't touch. Well, what we don't see, we forget. Yeah, that's the one. And you don't touch this money. Even when you meet partners or whatever, you don't give this money away. You're building your wealth here. So whether you start with like £1 a month, $1 a month, whatever, you do this from when you're 18, and if you keep on compounding, or from now, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can build more security with yourself and with your finances as well. And you can just because it gives us that investigative, that researching energy, Scorpio digging deep, we may uncover hidden opportunities, whether through overlooked assets, undervalued stocks, or innovative financial strategies that resonate with your long-term goals, or even you thinking about developing your skills or finding hidden talents that can materialize well for you. It increases your ability to read between the lines in financial negotiations and discussions. Some of you may find that your intuition or your deductive reasoning skills are sharper, and this can guide you to make astute choices that align with your values. And also you could work with others who share your vision, as alliances, teams, whatever, bonds, friendships that are formed during this time can be mutually beneficial, especially in financial ventures. It warns us to take calculated risks, but make sure you calculate them, don't do reckless risks. And transforming your financial outlook can not only empower you right now, but lay the groundwork for your future abundance and prosperity. In terms of politically, it can influence communication, decision making, and power dynamics. Mercury, the planet of communication and intellect, and Scorpio, as I said, is associated with secrets, intensity, and transformation, and this can lead to deep and probing discussions in politics, and politicians and leaders may exhibit a more secretive or strategic approach to communication, aiming to wield power through persuasive and impactful rhetoric, words, and it wants us to demand more transparency, honesty, and critical thinking in our own personal political discussions and thought processes. And it also wants to ensure that political information is communicated effectively and authentically, so it can bring about increased scrutiny, investigative journalism, and uncovering hidden truths within political systems. It can also symbolise strategic thinking, persuasive speech, and the emphasis on diplomacy behind the scenes. And it can also indicate a period where there can be a lot of intense debates, penetrating analysis, and the focus on the underlying power structures that are governing our nations and politics and stuff. So I talked earlier about the social collective meanings, and to go more deeper into it, as I said, we're encouraged to deepen our connections within our social circles and communities and go beyond the surface. And if we are willing to be open to the depths and the sort of body language, face movements and stuff I was talking about, and our intuition, we can sense the emotional currents at play within group dynamics, and by actively listening and sensing, we can respond and share our thoughts in a more ethical and honest but calm way to diffuse any aggressive or frustrating situations. And we can just develop a greater sense of unity and purpose in our friendship and co-worker groups right now, and it focuses on the importance of collective intelligence, not thinking we're better than each other but drawing on our own individual strengths and pulling them all together. And as we share our ideas and perspectives, we can uncover new opportunities or solutions that could benefit just a few individuals, one individual in the group, or the entire group. You could be talking about a group of friends talking about someone leaving a partner or something, so it depends on how your group forms, sort of thing. But ultimately it's a good energy to organise gatherings and share thoughts and points of view, and this sort of shared energy can lead to powerful breakthroughs and increase our social ties, and lead to a greater understanding of each other's lifestyles, communication styles, our shared goals, our different needs and wants and desires. So now I'm going to talk about the psychological, spiritual, esoteric, hidden, symbolic, creative and emotional meanings of Mercury in Scorpio. So again, on the psychological level, it wants us, as I said earlier, to dig into our psyches, untap our hidden feelings and motivations, our hidden psychological, emotional and spiritual trauma, especially when it comes to our intellect, research and our communication skills. And by confronting unresolved issues or secrets or parts of our personality, doing shadow work, by facing what we need to face, we can have transformative insights that can reshape our understanding of ourselves and others. And these probing discussions can push us to uncover the truth beneath the surface level of existence, and it emphasizes the importance of being authentic in communication, and it pushes us to express ourselves candidly, honestly, but we need to be mindful of the potential for misunderstandings, emotional intensity, and because it can amplify emotions, we can misinterpret intentions and see everything as criticism, take things too personally, or we can read too much into situations and relationships. But I talk about that more and go in depth about how it affects our relationships. On the spiritual level, it wants us to increase our awareness of the interconnectedness of all things, and we may want to explore those deeper philosophical questions about what is life, what is death, really, what's rebirth, and really wanting to seek truth. And as I said, meditation, inner work, shadow work can help us integrate our hidden aspects of our psyche and our weaknesses, or what we see as weaknesses, and the parts we dislike about ourselves, because we all dislike parts. But it's by learning to accept those parts, because no one's perfect. It's about learning to love the flawed human being perfectly, and to really be able to achieve this with others, we have to achieve it with ourselves. And as we dig deep into our psyche, we can create a deeper sense of wholeness, and we can increase our intuition and spiritual insights and revelations, and our instincts can just become more profound and we can just have deeper realizations about our spiritual path and purpose. And as we embrace our vulnerability and confront those fears, we open our door to healing, enlightenment, and increasing our spiritual journey. In terms of the esoteric hidden meanings, again, it wants us to engage with the mysteries of our subconscious mind, and doing this can unlock transformative insights, and as we go in depth with our deep-seated thoughts and desires that have remained buried, and challenge our perceptions, and uncover our layers, and we may find that we discuss taboo subjects with ourselves and others, and we may just become more transparent as we want to give up on being people pleasery and toxic and stuff, and wanting to build more mutual trust and understanding, and enrich your perspectives, and use this energy to of our chemical transformation to change, allow your ideas, beliefs, and way of thinking to be reborn, and make room for renewal in your life. In terms of the symbolic creative meanings, it wants us to take a creative approach to problem solving right now, and we may find inspiration in alternative, unconventional ideas by not conforming. And it wants us to use our intellect and our intuition. We've got the water energy of Scorpio coming together with the mutable energy of Gemini, not Gemini, Mercury that rules Gemini and Virgo, mutable earth and mutable air energy coming with fixed water energy, So we can use this to sort of articulate our inner truths creatively, work on content, or things that deeply resonate with us on the psychological, spiritual, and emotional levels, and just allow ourselves to write, to dance, to sing, to chant, to jump, to scream, and process our complex feelings right now and experiences, and just to dig deeper into the things that fascinate us, and the techniques that fascinate us, maybe it's AI or traditional drawing pencils, or creating a new form, and just allow yourself to use or uncover your hidden talents and passions, and be inventive, and get outside of your comfort zone, and channel your fears and inhibitions into creativity right now, and use this as a time to see it as an invitation to use your mental and emotional depths at the same time, creating a richer, more authentic creative voice. In terms of the emotional meanings, it just wants us to connect with ourselves and others on the soul level, creating an environment where we can all be honest as we push each other to communicate authentically about our fears, desires, and vulnerabilities, and we allow ourselves to read between the lines of communication and understand unspoken emotions and words, and just create more healing and have more meaningful conversations with others, and try and be clear so we don't misinterpret things, ask for clarification, and do things at a slow and steady space to avoid emotional overload, and just allow yourself to go into the depths of your emotions, and allow yourself to inspire yourself and others. So right now I'm just going to talk about the aspects that Mercury makes as it goes into Scorpio this year, and how they influence this transit. So Mercury makes a trine to Mars, and Mercury makes an opposition to Uranus. So this supports us in being sort of energized by conversations, and be assertive in our expression, take decisive action, and it allows us to be really quick in our thinking and reactions, so people can be quite humorous under this influence. It allows for our ideas to flow more freely, and we can be more inspiring and enthusiastic to others and ourselves about communication. And it's also increases the already persuasive kind of magnetic, confident, mysterious skills that Mercury in Scorpio adds to our communication, but also adds to the impulsiveness that can come up, the misunderstandings and conflicts. The opposition between Mercury and Uranus again supports us in having innovative ideas and gives us a willingness to break free from conventional thinking and conforming to, the patterns other people tell us to have in our communication, but it can add to erratic communication patterns and unexpected revelations, and we can feel pushed to challenge established norms or share unconventional opinions, which may not be always well received by others. To make the most of this energy, embrace your own unique insights while also striving for clarity in our communication. And we can balance the assertive drive of Mercury's trine to Mars with the unpredictable nature of Mercury. Oppose Uranus to, create a productive blend of assertiveness and creativity in our mindset, and being open to be flexible in our approaches and ideas. Mercury also makes a trine to Neptune and a biquintal to Chiron, so the biquintal is a nice sort of energy. Mercury's trine to Neptune brings a connection and merging of our intuition and healing through communication. We can be more sensitive to the emotions and needs of others, allowing for more deep and empathetic conversations, which is what this energy really wants us to do. And it just kind of gives us laser sharp kind of insights that can enrich ourselves and others if we're willing to be open to this energy. It adds to us being more imaginative in our thinking, and Mercury's biquintal to Chiron, sort of energy, but it allows us to, share our experiences and learn from others, and it promotes personal growth. It also encourages us to explore and supports us in exploring our vulnerabilities and communicating our truths, but we can become too overly idealistic and escaping in our thinking, and because of the influence of Neptune can cloud our judgment. We may want to escape because we don't want to deal with the emotions and our wounds, and we may overindulge in intoxicating substances, reckless sex, reckless communication, trolling online even, and the worst, because Scorpio's energy can be really dark. Not to laugh or anything because it's not funny, but stalking tendencies and all that can come out on the worst end of this energy. So, we have to balance this ethereal energy with being grounded, so doing things to ground us, staying sober, going for walks, meditating, stuff like that, to really maximise the benefits of these aspects. Mercury also makes an opposition to the ascendant, so the opposition between the ascendant and Mercury's sextile to midheaven. Firstly, the opposition allows us to sort of remain open to feedback, and it can give us valuable insights if we do that, but because it can sort of we can find our thoughts and communication styles kind of at odds, in war, or just frustrating because of how others may perceive us at this time, and this can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts because people may have been used to being a people pleaser, not speaking your mind, and we can speak our mind more under this transit. So because we can change our identity a little, or change our ideas and opinions and go against conforming to what our friends and whoever we're around with, this can cause risks, because sometimes the truth can be hard to swallow because it encourages us to be more open. We can also feel like we are challenged to speak our mind, because external perceptions about you can be wrong with what you're actually trying to do, so emphasizing clarity in conversations, being honest, and being willing to practice active listening and trying to do all you can to reduce friction and tension can help bridge the gap between your inner thoughts and external impression and your reactions to what others think of you. Mercury's sextile to the midheaven allows us to do well in our careers and public image, and it can lead to favourable outcomes such as networking opportunities or career advancement for some of you as you say your ideas and be confident. It allows us to communicate our goals or presentations, whatever we're doing, sell things effectively right now, and our insights that we have can sort of resonate with authoritative figures and peers, and it can just lead to us having a deeper understanding of our goals and how to express them and go about getting them. So now I'm going to talk about the grand water trine that happens when Mercury goes into Scorpio. So Mercury's in Scorpio, Neptune's in Pisces, and Mars is in Cancer with 24% orb. So this just adds to us being able to, go deep, research, understand each other. It also supports our creativity and imagination and problem solving skills, but again it can add to us being oversensitive, moody in our communication styles, or even snappy and aggressive, and this can add to the misunderstandings and misinterpretations if people can play glib and trickery with words and all of that and manipulate, and this can intensify communication and cause more conflicts and power struggles. So it's essential to try and be honest, reduce conflict, set your boundaries, but know when to walk away from some battles as well, because not every battle is worth it, but only you know which ones are and which are not at this time. So now I'm going to talk about the karmic meanings, the lessons, collective karma, and what type of past life memories or dreams can come up when Mercury is in Scorpio. So in terms of the karmic lessons and meanings, lessons around secrets, communication, and our intellect, our rational skills, how we embrace or don't embrace transformation and change. It wants us to, as I said, dig beneath the surface, uncover hidden truths, and this can lead to conversations that are intense and a lot of mental exploration, thinking, and all the rest of it. So the karmic lessons revolve around being authentic, the need to confront our fears head on, or the things we've been putting off head on, and deal with our psychological and emotional trauma. It wants us to, as I said, be really emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically honest with ourselves and others to allow for personal growth, and to not be afraid of those hidden aspects of our psyche. And we may notice repressed emotions or memories surfacing, pushing us to explore our significance. In terms of past life memories, vivid dreams, sudden flashes of insight can really help us connect to our past life memories. This can manifest as emotions, images, sensations, and because Scorpio is associated with deep emotions and the subconscious mind, past life memories around power struggles, betrayals, secrets, and exploring taboo subjects in our past lives may come to mind, and how our past lives and how we handle power struggles or dealing with taboo subjects, or ignoring them, or fearing death and transformation, and how they have an impact on our current life. We can feel ourselves more drawn to uncovering mysteries and understanding our current life path by digging into the depths of our minds and psyche, and it just wants us to pay attention to ourselves with an open mind and love, and a willingness to confront the darkness within us, the hidden within us as well. And if we're willing to engage with this energy, we can uncover challenges and the patterns that have persisted through not only this life's journey but our soul's journey as well. And it wants us to integrate any past life experiences into our current reality, starting or continuing the work of doing that. And this integration process can involve self-reflection, journaling, dancing, therapy, personal development, self-help and all of that, and it wants us to ultimately recognise our past traumas or triumphs, influence, successes, how they influence our present, and this can empower you to break free from limiting beliefs and create a greater sense of awareness. Okay, so in terms of our collective karma, what we'll be working through, it again wants us to confront our shadow aspects, allowing for healing through open discussions and mutual understanding. It can, push a collective awakening of power, truth and transparency, and we may collectively just reflect on how important it is to talk about underlying motivations and unearth hidden truths, and talk about buried trauma and how they influence how we treat each other. And this importance and honesty can sort of help us unite and have a greater understanding of each other, more compassion as we speak unspoken truths and address what needs to be addressed. And this can just help for us to evolve the social narratives and our collective consciousness about communication issues, how we treat those with different communication styles from us, how we, repress our authentic communication style or our authentic self-expression, in general. So yeah, now I'm going to talk about how it affects our family, friendship, co-worker, committed, hookups and self-partnered relationships. So in terms of our family dynamics, we can have a more commitment to creating environments where we understand each other, and we can have more open communication and ensure that everyone is heard, and we can just be more honest, as I said, and this can lead to a greater family bonds and empathy between family members, and transformative conversations can clarify misunderstandings and strengthen relationships right now, allowing us to approach conflicts with compassion rather than defensiveness. And it just allows us to explore underlying issues that have previously gone unaddressed, and it just wants us to dig deeper into conversations about individual needs, fears and goals, and we just can be more supportive, but we just need to watch out for us being too I don't want to say too honest, but we can be too blunt, and this can hurt other people's feelings. And of course you got to speak your mind, but we can do it in the ways that we don't make others feel less than, and we can receive criticism in a less defensive way. So it just wants us to develop more mutual respect and understanding, and it can help us more resilient to challenges, and we can just be appreciative of each other's unique qualities and personalities and stuff like that in our family dynamics. In terms of friendships, again, it wants us to address unspoken tensions and misunderstandings, and it wants us to have honest conversations that reveal deeper layers of relationships, creating trust and solidarity, togetherness. And if we're open about our thoughts and feelings, we can create a safe space in our friendships, and this can reinforce the bonds and the connection and sustain our friendships, and we can just build more clarity and vulnerability, but we just need to watch out, because the way we speak can spark insecurities, and we can just kind of rub each other up the wrong way with being too honest. But we have to understand that we need to find a way to make relationships real, and maybe if the relationship can't stand honesty, maybe it needs to end. But at the best, it allows us to explore each other's perspectives and motivations, understanding, and even though we may go through some trials and tribulations, we can increase our collective well-being and friendship well-being. In terms of co-worker relationships, it can increase our emotions and make us have more intense discussions, and it can push us to approach disagreements with a level head, and being more open to acknowledge perspectives of our colleagues and just seek a more collaborative environment and encourages us to problem solve rather than, be aggressive and be confrontational. So we can just engage in more productive conversations, even about the hard stuff, and through honesty and remaining respectful and giving everybody their voice, and allowing people to speak, even the quiet ones. This can lead to more mutual respect, and we can just gain more valuable insights into our conflicts and motivations if we're willing to be open and honest, and if we're just willing to be empathetic and validate each other's feelings and experiences, even though we don't agree with them. And this can help us prioritize our emotional intelligence and bring more harmony and resolution into our sort of workplaces. So in terms of committed relationships, it can make us more vulnerable and open to sharing our innermost thoughts, and have more trust and understanding of each other, and create a safe space for our partners to do the same. And being honest and open can strengthen our bonds and have more meaningful conversations and love making, and as we explore each other's emotions with more compassion. But negatively, again, vulnerability and intimacy can be good, but it can lead to moments of discomfort as buried issues come to light. And as we approach these discussions with sensitivity, we can acknowledge that vulnerability requires courage from both sides. And if we're willing to confront the hard times, the hard discussions, you can embrace more love and understanding between us, and this can just reinforce the relationship and give more resilience within it as well. In terms of those who are single and self-partnered, it allows us to dig deeper and understand ourselves more and how we relate to each other, and makes us more intensely curious in exploring ourselves and others, and it just makes us drawn to conversations that challenge our opinions and beliefs and perspectives, and it allows us to engage with people on a much profound level. And this inquisitive approach can help us to identify what truly resonates with us at this time. But on the flip side, negatively, it can stir up insecurities or fears related to intimacy and the way you communicate or the ways you don't communicate. You may feel emotionally stunted, like you want to say words but you can't get them out. It wants us to remain grounded and not shy away from exploring our vulnerabilities. And while these intense feelings can be overwhelming, recognizing them as part of our growth can help you navigate this phase with greater self-awareness. And as we maintain an open mindset and actively seek to understand both ourselves and others, we can use this energy for a great driver, catalyst for personal and relationship development. Now I'm going to talk about how Mercury in Scorpio affects our career, personal, spiritual, educational and self-partner development. So in terms of our career growth, it allows us to express our ideas with more intensity and clarity, and encourages us to dig into the depths of our thoughts and feelings, making it an ideal time for research, strategic planning and transformative discussions. We can find that our ability to negotiate and influence others is increased, and this can make it better for career progression and collaborations. And we can just use this energy to uncover hidden opportunities within our professional environment. Go research, go digging, go applying for those jobs that you may think that you won't get. You may get a lucky break. Your intensity, be passionate in job interviews and going after what you want to, but the right type of passion, not overdoing it, not being too competitive, but showing a bit of compassion at this time, or passion and thirst, hunger, can be good. But negatively, it can add to a lot of misunderstandings because emotions can run high and you can do too much, so we just have to stay aware of our reactions and actions right now. Practice patience, as this will be critical, and we just have to, strike that fine balance between being assertive and diplomatic. And our passion right now can inspire ourselves and others, and to go after what they want as well. But also your passion can create tension as well, so it's a fine line, but ultimately, just doing things that can push your career forward, and being mindful of being positive in your relationships and creating a supportive work atmosphere, or adding to that supportive work atmosphere, is good. In terms of personal development, we can dig into deep complex matters, making it a great time for inner work, shadow work therapy. And because communication can be intense, it allows us to transform and go deeper with ourselves and others. But negatively, the power struggles, manipulation and secrecy in communication can lead to destructive behaviours like obsession or holding on to grudges. And because the transformative nature of Scorpio encourages deep self-reflection, we may reevaluate our relationships and other things, and just our careers, even our spiritual practices, our religions, and we may decide to end some things or restart some things. So although this self-assessment can be beneficial, it can also create feelings of being discontent or dissatisfaction, and if you're not careful, you can project your insecurities onto others and become overly critical. So we just need to be empathetic and practice active listening with ourselves and others as we navigate these emotional waters. And we've got to use care to avoid creating unnecessary rifts with ourselves and others, and balance the need for our deep and authentic expression, and understand that everyone may be ready for such intensity, and this will be essential for sustaining healthy connections. If you want to go deep and others don't, you may have to leave that connection, or you may just have to accept the connection for what it is. In terms of spiritual insights, it allows us to intertwine our thoughts and emotions as we uncover hidden truths about ourselves that have remained buried for a long time for some of you. As we push to the depths of our psyche, it allows us to illuminate the areas of our life that require healing, and it encourages us to question our motivations, our desires, our lifestyles, our routines, our thought patterns, and create a deeper understanding of our spiritual path. And meditation and journaling can help us do this, as I said earlier, but it can bring a potential for over-analysis and overthinking, and the probing nature of Mercury in Scorpio can lead us down a rabbit hole of jealousy, obsessive thoughts, vengefulness, making it easy for us to lose sight of the present moment. So we have to strike a balance between self-examination and self-acceptance right now, without becoming overly critical or judgmental on ourselves. And if we use intention and mindfulness, we can increase our spiritual awareness right now, but also develop a greater sense of self-love and forgiveness and empowerment. In terms of our educational opportunities, it allows us to dig deep into subjects, making research and study more thorough and fun and insightful. It promotes critical thinking and analysis, allowing us to uncover hidden meanings and connections. But negatively, it can lead to obsessive thinking or a tendency to fixate on dark and negative aspects of a subject, and this can get in the way of our overall learning. And because communication can be more intense, this helps us with in-depth discussions in our educational environments, but this can create conflicts in our studies as well, and in our groups and teamwork and whatever. So it pushes us to go after studies or training that resonate with our inner self, particularly in areas related to psychology, metaphysics, and any field that encourages us to explore the unknown. And as we increase our knowledge and empower ourselves in practical ways, it can be really good for our personal and professional growth, whether we go to college or back to university or take a night school, whatever, or do it online or read books and learn, teach ourselves what we need to learn. So we can teach ourselves what we need to learn right now, uncovering hidden talents and just really going within and just asking ourselves, what is it that, pulls us, what we're interested in. And additionally, some of you will just want to research, and take a more investigative approach to learning. And you just can be drawn to research projects, workshops or discussions that challenge your existing beliefs and invite new perspectives. And because Scorpionic energy thrives in depths, we can seek out courses or learning experiences that require critical thinking and encourages us to question the status quo, conforming tradition. And it's an ideal time to engage with mentors or peers who stimulate your curiosity and inspire you to dig even deeper into your chosen fields of study. In terms of those who are self-partnered, we may want to sort of dig deeply into our thoughts and emotions, creating a stronger connection with our authentic selves, being more honest with our communication with ourselves and others, and be more vulnerable and allowing ourselves to confront and heal any lingering fears or insecurities that hold you back from being your true self. Negatively, we can have more skepticism, possessiveness and secrecy, or be more manipulative in our interactions with others, and this can create challenges in creating healthy relationships, as the intense energy of Scorpio can increase feelings of distrust and emotional intensity with our inner dialogues and stuff, and the intensive communication patterns and thought processes can lead to over-analysing and being critical of yourself, and you can just think too much about past hurts or negative experiences, and this can get in the way of your personal growth and self-love, acceptance and forgiveness right now. So it's important to be mindful of these effects and engage in journaling, healthy communication strategies, more shadow and inner work, self-acceptance work, practice mindfulness, more self-awareness and love and open communication with yourself. And by turning inward, you can reinvent aspects of your life that no longer serve you, especially when it comes to thought patterns. And as you understand your motivations deeper, you can notice a shift in how you approach both personal relationships and your professional goals, empowering you to develop connections that are more aligned with your true self. And so now I'm just going to finish up with the best activities for creatives, professionals, entrepreneurs, alternative healers, lovers, single and self-partnered people, what you should do when Mercury's in Scorpio. So creatives can use this deep introspective energy to explore poetry or abstract painting, deeper art forms, avant-garde ones as well, out-of-the-box ones, alternative expressions of words or drawing or whatever. Professionals and entrepreneurs can dig deep into research or strategic planning, their long-term goals, and this is how you can find long-term success. Alternative healers should focus on energy work or explore new healing techniques, modalities. Lovers should deepen their emotional connections through intimate conversations or shared experiences. Singles should use self-reflection and personal growth, while self-partnered people can practice self-care rituals that nurture their mind, body and soul. So to sum up the overall positives, negatives and the best use of transit Mercury in Scorpio, we should use this to dig deep into research, uncover hidden truths, face what we need to face about our lives and our relationship, communicate with intensity and passion, and dig deep to solve complex problems with precision. But on the downside, it can lead to us being overly secretive in communication, manipulative and jealous and obsessive, and there can be power struggles in conversations. The best use of this energy is to be honest, to listen to everyone's side, and to engage in deep conversations and seek conflict resolution rather than being impulsive. Research deep subjects such as psychological ones or occult subjects, and to be open-minded is the best thing, and not to become too fixated on control or suspicion during this time. So yeah, that's the end of this very in-depth special on what to do when Mercury is in Scorpio. I'm Amani, your holistic astrological life coach. Take care and see you next time.